Is porn ruining your sports performance, your kite surfing, your surfing, snowboarding, whatever it is that you love to do? Weird question. But the answer is absolutely yes, it is. Now, before I go into this and explain why, I first need to talk about dopamine, or the molecule of more, as it's known. Dopamine is the molecule which in many ways makes life worth living. It's responsible for that buzz we get when we experience something new. It drives us to seek novelty and growth, to seek more in life. Now, the dopamine system is designed to trigger occasionally when you do something really awesome. And it's designed to be done occasionally. Why? Because it's highly addictive. And it's designed to be addictive, so it keeps driving you forward. Its primary job is to give you that motivation to keep moving. In ancestral terms, it rewards you when you get up off your ass and go and find a new cave, or a new herd of antelope, or a new mate. In more modern terms, it's what gives you the buzz when you go kite surfing, when you go surfing, when you go snowboarding. And it's that buzz that just makes you want more, hence the molecule of more. Okay, so I think you all know kind of what I'm talking about, what it gives you now. But what does that have to do with porn? What does this have to do with porn and kite surfing? Well, dopamine is also responsible for driving us to seek sexual partners. And once we find one and actually do the deed, we get a dopamine reward to ensure we want to repeat this activity, as it's fairly advantageous to the propagation of the species. And as we've said, dopamine is highly addictive. So it's used by the body as a reward system when you do something good. And again, having sex is generally seen as good by the brain. So it rewards you with a dopamine spike. Now, when you watch porn, you get the same dopamine response as you do when you have sex. The brain literally thinks you're having sex with the person on the screen. Okay, still no problem. The problem comes with porn. The problem with porn is that you're only a click away from watching a different person having sex. So in one porn watching session, your brain thinks it's literally having sex with a load of different people and rewards you with a dopamine hit for each different one. Now, this totally overrides the natural safety system that the body has against this dopamine flood, because I doubt there's many people in the world who've had real sex with 20 plus people in 30 minutes. And if there are, I want to meet them. I want to find out how the hell they did it. But what it does, by overriding the natural safe system, it totally floods the brain with dopamine, which, as an aside, also changes the structure of the brain to make it more addicted to dopamine in the future. So you get this cycle effect. But the problem here is that much dopamine, the dopamine caused by your brain thinking it's having sex with all these tens of thousands of people in 20 minutes, causes the dopamine receptors to desensitize. So now it takes more and more stimulation, i.e. dopamine, to provoke the same response. And this doesn't just occur in porn. It's not just to do with the porn you're watching. It's in life in general. So your dopamine receptors are dulled in life. So you get less of that buzz in life in general. And the only way to get more stimulation, to feel that stimulation again, is increase the novelty. So now what happens now is next time you sit down in front of your computer, tissues in hand, rather than just watching normal porn videos, you've got to seek more novelty to get the same response, to get off. And this escalates and escalates. And before you know it, you're watching someone having it off with a donkey, despite the fact you've got zero interest in real life donkeys. Now, this desensitization of your dopamine receptors means literally nothing in life excites you anymore unless it can release this incredible, huge flood of dopamine. And not many things in life, not many natural things in life can, because again, it's designed to be a controlled system, because these are the dangers of which the body has put brakes on, put safeguards against. But what it does, when you're in this state where your dopamine receptors are desensitized, you're in this state where nothing in life excites you anymore, you are in a totally apathetic state about everything. You literally don't want to do anything. You've got no energy. You've got no lust for life. It literally sucks the juice of life out of you, which is quite an appropriate metaphor for what we're talking about. But nothing will now give you that dopamine high. It's really, really difficult to encounter that in real life. So what's this all got to do with kitesurfing? Well, firstly, we just said when you're in that state of apathy, nothing gets you excited, even your favorite sport, even kitesurfing, even surfing, even snowboarding. So most people just don't bother. It's hard enough when you're in this state to actually get yourself off the sofa and do something. Again, this is taking it to the most extreme level. But again, this is a sliding scale. You will be somewhere on here if you are abusing your dopamine system. You'll find that life just turns into grayscale. You're more apathetic about things. You're less enthusiastic about things. So it may not be that you can't get off the sofa. It may just be that life has lost its shine. But secondly, and more importantly, kitesurfing, surfing, snowboarding, all these sports we love, despite the fact that they trigger a huge amount of dopamine themselves, which is why we actually love them in the first place, which is why these sports are so addictive, that dopamine they release doesn't come anywhere near to the dopamine rush of having sex with 20 odd people in 30 minutes that porn can provide. So your receptors have been dulled by this porn use. You simply stop getting any sort of rush when you do go and pick up your board and head down that slope or head out onto the wave or whatever. So you're just not getting the rush anymore. You just don't get the buzz. You just don't feel the stoke. And a lot of people I've talked to in this situation is like, yeah, I just can't be bothered. I'd just rather be doing nothing. I'd rather be sitting around, or I just get out there and just don't get into it like I used to. I'm not enjoying it like I used to. And a lot of this is due to that dopamine. You're not getting the dopamine response that these sports are designed to provoke because your receptors have been dulled. And this is kind of the key crucial point. Now, if you want to discover more secrets of peak performance, especially one for those of you who passing the big 4-0 like myself, you can go and grab a copy of my latest book. The link is in the description below or the show notes, depending on where you're watching or listening to this. It's free. It's free for a limited time. Go and grab it. As I say, if you get there and it's not free anymore, if you're watching this in the far distant future, well done for surviving the killer rabbits, bunny rabbits that come to invade. But go and grab the book. If it's not free, then it's because the offer's only limited time, is what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way. So go and grab that and have a read through that, because that's got a lot of the information that I pull for these videos embedded in those pages. So that's it today, guys. Hope that was useful. Hope that kind of worked around, from what is a very, very weird title to actually giving you the information that you need to kind of realize how this works. Now, getting rid of porn addiction, that's a whole other category in itself. And if you want, there is a great book called Your Brain on Porn, which I would really recommend if this is something that you suffer with, or something that someone you may know suffers with, or you think they may suffer with, then that's a great book to kind of open your eyes to how this all. I've just touched the surface here. This goes much, much deeper. Obviously, I've only got so much time on a YouTube video. But Your Brain on Porn, great book, great place to get started, and a great place to give the book to hand to someone who you think might be struggling from this. Especially younger people. This is a big, big thing amongst younger people. If you're after 40 and still suffering from this, then you're probably suffering from it very badly. But also it's something that we see a lot in obviously teenage lads generally, but more and more girls as well. Okay, so that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you next video.